Mr. Peterson, distinguished members of the dais, fellow graduates, and honored guests. It's indeed an honor for me to give a short address at this auspicious occasion. Most speakers at graduation or commencements usually talk about the opening of doors to success, the climbing of ladders to success, the counting of pillars to success. Well, I'm going to bypass this route because I know that whatever each one of you decides to do, you'll be successful in your every endeavors. Instead, I'm going to reminisce about our many years together and relate to you some of our fun times, our hard times, our best times together. Every class, no matter what year they graduate, can always be remembered for one particular event, whether it be funny or a bit embarrassing. Well, nearly 4 years ago, we came to this school as freshmen, bewildered and apprehensive, wondering if anything would go right. We had just been the upperclassmen in middle school, and now suddenly we're on the lowest level possible of the high school food chain, so to speak. Our first high school homecoming was a very unusual experience. We'd never encountered anything like it before. The concept of homecoming float building was even more bizarre and unknown to anyone in our class, although a few helpful hints had leaked out from the upper classes. But we still tried our best to do what at that time seemed impossible, to build a float for the parade. Everyone worked hard, and we had a lot of fun. And on the day of the parade, disaster struck, and we ended up losing parts of our float. Well, it was a bit disappointing, but in retrospect, it was kind of humorous. This, along with many other fun times we've had, has gone hand in hand with the difficulty of keeping up with all of our school activities. No matter what grade you were in, or what extracurricular activity or class you were taking, the difficulty and stress of keeping up with all this involvement eventually got to each one of us. Usually when it got to a certain point of unbearability, we slowed down and regrouped. One particular assignment which I can remember, which I know many of you here went through, was our sophomore English 10 term paper. For about 9 weeks or 1 quarter, we sat in our English 10 classes and read and read and read. And then finally we stopped reading and wrote and wrote and wrote. I remember seeing my fellow classmates walk through the hall, and they'd have kind of a dazed look on their face. And when I'd call upon them, their only response back to me was, "Huh?" Then I knew it had to be term paper time. But through all the time, effort, and work, we finally completed all of our activities, starting from our freshman to our senior year. When looking back on all of the headaches and late nights, we often wonder how we ever made it through all these hard times. Well, one main reason was because of the support of our parents, family, friends, faculty, staff, and administration. Any activity that was giving us problems was usually solved by one of those people mentioned. For this, I say thank you, and I think we, the graduates, should give them a round of applause. Finally, the best of times were upon us. We were the upperclassmen, the seniors. Everyone would look up to us, trying to emulate our every gesture. This was going to be our most memorable year. All of a sudden we matured, reflecting a flawless personality. An individual who was imbued with all the knowledge given to us by our teachers. We were the favorites among all others. It was during this year that we started to realize the responsibility bestowed upon us. We were the ambassadors of Bettendorf High School. Everywhere we went, we represented BHS. We were and still are proud of our school. We now seem to be the so-called leaders. We caroused and were a bit more relaxed than years in past. Every venture taken was one which would bring back fond memories. This senior year was truly the living embodiment of the best of our times. On this memorable day, when we were together for the last time, let us always try to remember all the wonderful experiences we've had together as a class throughout our many years. They have ranged from the beneficial to the rewarding, and at times from the abnormal to the bizarre. But in any case, you must have to agree that the class of 1983 is the best that's gone through BHS so far. Of course, I am a bit biased. Again, I'm confident that whatever each one of you decides to do, you will all eventually be successful in your life's endeavors. For as we all know, Only time will tell. Good luck, and thank you.
The two speakers mentioned graduation from high school is a time for joy and celebration, but it's also a time for remembering and reflecting. As a part of that remembrance and that reflection, the class of '83, I want to draw your attention to the bulldog that sits in front of the podium. The bulldog was purchased by the class of '83 in remembrance of a student who passed away, Charles Patrick Van Keulen. The class chose to use their class treasury to purchase that bulldog, which will sit in our library henceforth. And I thank you, class, for that, and I'm sure the members of the Van Keulen family thank you as well.